Have you ever had to ask yourself the question, am I pursuing this girl out of lust or out of love? If you're a man who wants to pursue a woman in a godly way, absolutely you've asked yourself this question before, but sometimes the answer isn't always clear. Maybe you've been there before. You're pursuing this girl. Yeah, she's attractive, she's pretty, but does that mean you're pursuing her out of lust? Maybe, but maybe not. In today's video, I'm going to lay out 7 signs that you're pursuing her out of lust and not out of love. Whether you're in a relationship currently or looking to get in a relationship in the future, I think this is going to be a helpful video for you to be able to look out for those signs in your life and in the relationship so you don't get yourself into trouble. Let me know in the comments down below which one of these resonates with you the most. Take this as an opportunity to check your heart, whether you're in a really solid Christian relationship or if you're in a relationship that you know is kind of in trouble and not super godly. I want you to take this as an opportunity to say, okay, you know what? Am I acting out of a loving, godly way or acting in a lustful way? Before we get into the first sign, unfortunately, one of the things that can fuel our lust in relationship is our use of pornography online. It rewires your brain and makes you think differently. But once you're caught up in it, the shame, guilt, and dopamine seem to keep you trapped. That's why I want to tell you about today's sponsor, Relay. Relay is way more than an accountability app. They have community and tools that are designed by therapists that are currently helping thousands of men break free from pornography. One of my favorite features, for example, is if you're experiencing an urge, which, when you're coming down from a pornography addiction or habit, they happen quite frequently throughout the day, potentially. And so you experience this urge and then you click the button urge log and it takes you through this series of questions to come down from this urge that you're experiencing, to understand your triggers and to disconnect, to take a step back from that urge, to give you time to make the right decision. There's so many awesome features. I could go on, but for my viewers, if you click the link in my description or scan the QR code here, you can get 7 days free. Thanks to Relay for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get into the first sign. Okay, let's get into it. The first one. Your friends say she's a red flag. They're just haters, man. They don't understand. They don't understand her. They don't understand, our connection, our love. Like maybe, but probably not. Friends have a good way, good trusted friends have a good way of being able to look into a situation if they actually know the dynamic of your relationship and to be able to say from an objective point of view to say, hey man, there's some major red flags in her life in the way that she's, treating you or operating in this relationship that you should be aware of. And you can become very defensive to this. You can say, no, man, I thought you were my friend. You don't want us to have this love. No, that's what a immature person would do. A mature person would be, okay, let me take a step back and see if there's any validity to what my friend, my trusted friend, is saying. Proverbs 12:15 says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to advice. I would give the disclaimer that make sure that this is coming from multiple sources. If it's just one person, one friend that's saying some stuff and you also question their judgment as well, okay, I get it. You don't need to take that as immediate truth. But if it's coming from multiple sources, multiple people in your life that, hey man, you need to be aware that there's some red flags going on in her life, the way that she's acting, in her behavior, in the way that she's treating you, in the way she's talking about God even, that's something to pay attention to. And there's a temptation to be really hostile to this. I mean, I think some of us have been there where you're just very defensive over your decisions and maybe your relationship. And so you're not willing to concede that there's any issue. But as a friend, as hard as it is to speak that truth, Proverbs actually talks about how important it is. Proverbs 27 verse 6 is, faithful are the wounds of a friend, profuse are the kisses of an enemy. Try not to see it as an attack from your friend on your relationship or even your judgment, but see it as his care and his love for you, wanting you to be in a good, godly relationship. Sure, you could surround yourself with friends that are just man, you do you, man, whatever you want. Yeah, I'm sure you guys are happy. That's awesome. Are those really friends, though? That empty affirmation, does that help you in any possible way? No, it just makes you feel good, but it doesn't help direct you onto the right path, which faithful, good friends have the ability to do because they're outside of the situation that you're in. They're able to look in with a different perspective. It doesn't mean you need to take everything they say in as gospel, But it does mean, hey man, like don't just disregard it because they don't understand. Number 2 is you ignore red/yellow flags. What are some of the red and yellow flags that guys overlook because their hearts are captivated by lust? Well, one of the first thing is she might be unfaithful to you. She might not be exclusive in your relationship. And you let it slide. You know she's doing stuff on the side. You know she's going to bars late at night. You know she's, messing around with different people, and she's not looking towards marriage. Maybe she sees this as just a temporary fling, but you are okay with it. Why? Because your heart is captivated by lust. Proverbs 31:30 says, "Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." You can let the red flags, the yellow flags slide because you just think she's really drop dead gorgeous. She might not communicate with you. She stands you up at dates. She doesn't tell you what she's doing or where she's going or what she's up to. The relationship feels very flippant to her. The connection that you guys have seems very, exchangeable. She leads you on. She makes you feel disposable. All these things guys can just ignore and settle for because she's attractive. One of the biggest red flags for a Christian man is if this is not a Christian woman. 2 Corinthians 6:14 says, "Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? Or what fellowship has light with darkness?" When the Bible talks about you becoming one flesh with your wife one day, it's not just talking about that in a sexual sense. You become one flesh in your motivation, in your focus, in your common life together, in your pursuits, in your values. You're becoming one flesh in all these different areas. But if you're married to someone who doesn't hold those same values, belief, faith in God, that one flesh union is disrupted. Don't let lust convince you to settle for that. Sign number 3 that you're pursuing her out of lust is you try to push boundaries quickly and not establish boundaries in the first place. You operate in the relationship with the mentality that, well, she'll tell me stop when she's uncomfortable. And as long as she's comfortable, then everything's okay. In Ephesians 5, it talks about how husbands are called to lay your life down for your wife, just as Christ laid his life down for the church. That this kind of love that we're called to as men is sacrificial. Well, unfortunately, sacrificial love is the exact opposite of lust, because lust is here to take. It's here to get what it can. And we see this in this sign. You try to push boundaries quickly. You're trying to get to the physical connection, the sexual connection. That's a taker's mentality. What can I get now? How can I fill my lust now? You're not protecting her heart. You're not looking out for her own faith and her own sanctification, her own relationship with God, how this will, tempt her. You're not looking out for any of those things. You're simply trying to satisfy your own lust. In Paul's first letter to the Thessalonians, he talks about the importance of having self-control and self-restraint around your sexual desire. This is what it says: "For this is the will of God for you, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality, that each of you know how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not in the passion of lust like the Gentiles who do not know God." You know how to control your own body and to abstain from sexual immorality, or has lust overtaken you? Do you need to repent of that towards God? Number 4, you focus on now versus building for the future. Everything is about the next date, the next step, the next boundary that you can push. And it's not about, okay, the life that I'm going to build with this woman, setting ourselves up, focusing on leading spiritually, looking to provide financially. It's all about now. It's all just about the dating phase and the butterflies, but you're not thinking about, okay, what is the timeline here? I want to marry this woman. I want to build a family and a life with this woman. Love is here for the long game. Lust is here for the moment. Number 5, you always speak of her physical appearance first. So when people ask you about her, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Maybe you're not verbally saying this out loud, but what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Oh man, she's drop dead gorgeous. Oh, she's so pretty, right? And it's a good thing to think that your girlfriend, the person that you're with, your fiance, whatever, is pretty and attractive, and that is all wonderful. But if somebody were to push you a little bit and say, hey, okay, can you share like 7 character qualities of this woman that make you really, attracted to her? What are those things? Are they just kind of general things? Well, she likes her family and she's kind of nice to them. Like genuinely, is that all you can come up with? Because that is a red flag. If the only thing that you can primarily positively speak about her is her physical appearance, you've gone off base. You're pursuing her out of lust and not because of who she is. Proverbs 11:22 says, like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion. Discretion is one thing, but I think it also extends to other things as well. You know, a woman that doesn't have character in general. She doesn't have discretion. She doesn't have discernment. God's trying to get you to understand that if this is your context, what you're seeing is just a facade. It's like, yeah, she looks really good on the outside, but you know, it's just like a gold ring in a pig's snout if she doesn't have character, if she doesn't have discernment, if she doesn't have, love, if she's not exhibiting the fruit of the Spirit. Number 6, you're quick to post her on social media to show off. Love protects and cherishes, and lust exploits. If you're doing this, you're just trying to use her to boost your own ego, to show everyone, man, look at me. Like, I got this girl. This is crazy. Like, look how cool and awesome I am. But that's using her. If you're a little bit disconnected from the secular world, you would be amazed at how often this happens. Guys that are just free to post their woman on social media in scantily clad clothing, is seeking to get validation from other men that they matter, that they're worth something, that they're cool because, hey, look, I have this hot girl on my arm. It's sad, and it's the outflowing of lust, not only lust in a sexual sense, but lust for other people's validation and their attention, and you can use this woman to get you that. Sign number 7, you withdraw from community and accountability. If the relationship that you're in is really pushing you to separate yourself from community or accountability, whether by the encouragement of the person that you're with or through your own desire, because you don't want other people to say, oh, hey man, like there might be some red flags there, and you're ignoring stuff, and maybe you're even aware of it, some of it now, and you're trying to push boundaries, and you're looking at the temporal like and not the future, and so you don't want to be in community and have accountability because you know somebody's going to ask you a question, and you don't want that. That will ruin your fun. I'm telling you, this is the roadmap to a toxic, lustful relationship, but it's not too late. Right? It's not too late. You can recognize some of these signs. You can put yourself back into community and accountability. You can take a good hard look at the relationship that you're in and assess, you know what? Is it me that's bringing the lust to this situation? Or are there issues on the other side, major red flags, that make it so, you know what, we need to put a stop to this relationship because it is not a godly one? I'd love to hear from you guys. Which one of these sticks with you the most and relates most to your situation? Thanks again for watching, and until next time, keep pursuing the mission.